Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, Rudy returns. That's that second R and CFP day. Now back to the Blitz. Jason and who's that other good-looking guy? You say good-looking?
It is the Blitz here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, AM 1250. I'm Jason Minix. Joe Reinagel out today. Rob Thompson from R&R in the morning.
That's who it is.
Apparently.
God, he sounds handsome.
Yeah, he sounds, people who sound different on the radio than what you think they're going to look like.
And I am living proof of that.
Mm-hmm. You know, a guy that sounds like he looks. Our good friend Marcus Spears, former Cowboy, now with ESPN all over the place. Marcus, man, appreciate you calling in today because I want to talk to you about your cooking. Your Instagram over the weekend, over this Thanksgiving. You know, the chicken and the fried. I know we're going to talk some football, man, but we're both barbecue guys. I want to know about those chickens you were doing for Thanksgiving. 3 full chickens on your egg.
Yeah, man. So last year I did 6. Okay, and we didn't have that many people this year. And I'm over turkey, fellas. Like I'm one of those ones where, you know, traditionally I know everybody want to get a turkey, and look, I love fried turkey, but I just think it's dry. I mean, I'm sorry for whoever I offended by saying that. But them little yard bird pimps, as what I call chickens, they are phenomenal. Okay,
Yard bird pimps.
Yard bird pimps, baby. They just walk around the yard like they pimps. Anyway, we decided 2 years ago that we're gonna do chicken instead of turkey, and then it turned into this whole thing of me trying to make different variations of whole chicken. So I did a jerk chicken. I used some seasoning from Louisiana. I used some rubs from Texas. I used different things to try to get different flavors. And like in the first 30 minutes last year, all of it was gone. So I was like, damn, this must have really did good with the family. So we did 3 this past Thanksgiving. And then I fried some fish as well. But food is my thing. Outside of sports, and obviously you can look at me and tell that food is my thing. But beyond looking at me and being able to tell food is my thing, I love cooking, but grilling mostly. And hopefully in the future, I'm going to give me a show on Food Network or somewhere. I go around to people's house just grilling and cooking with them and having a good time.
All right, Marcus, this is Rob Thompson asking this question. I'm coming to your house. I want to know I want the best. This is what, Marcus, the Swagoo special is. What do you go to? What's your go-to?
Oh, yeah.
Is it the chicken?
I honestly believe the chicken is good, but I honestly believe lamb chops are my best.
Lamb chops. I thought you were going to say a lot of things. I was not expecting lamb chops.
Man, dude, I get them lamb chops, dude.
What do you tie them off? One of those crown things? How do you do them?
No, I do them individually, and I use mesquite, a little bit of mesquite, a little bit of hickory, and I mix it in with my charcoal, and I sear them, and then I move them to the side and I reverse it, smoke for like 10 minutes. And dude, I've had people that have never ate lamb that goes and buys lamb for me to put it on the grill.
Man,
that's how good it is.
Swagoo for hire. How about that? I mean,
respect.
When you make it to the league, you get a little bit more pocket change, so you can start exploring with the more expensive meats.
Yep.
And that's what I did. And lamb became one of those things where I was like, man, this is pretty good what I'm doing here. Well, I could do steaks. I love steaks more on cast iron, guys. Like I'm a cast iron guy with the butter and the thyme and the garlic. That's me with a steak. But as far as grilling, lamb chops and obviously the chicken will probably be my 2 that if I wanted to impress you, those are the things that I would put on the grill.
One last thing before we talk Cowboys and defensive line. Your fish, your catfish, is there something special in there? What are you using? Is it cornmeal, and what are you adding to your catfish?
Oh, brother, it's Louisiana fish fry. That's the only way I fry fish. And it's actually crappie. Some people know it as white perch. In Louisiana, we call it sac-a-lait.
Oh, sac-a-lait.
But yeah, man. So, but I use Louisiana fish fry.
It look good
with some other Cajun spices. that I
But
put on there.
it
But
it
Louisiana
all
fish
it
fry
it,
is the
it
main thing.
it all looked good. And I know, like for me, Marcus, I've got a Traeger, a Kamado Joe, and a Weber kettle, and I'm looking at the
Yeah.
way you're doing that chicken. I'm just curious on your chicken, how crispy is the skin? What is your trick for getting crispy skin off that green egg? Because I see the heat deflector underneath there, so I know no flames touching that bird.
There you go. There you go. That's the answer. I put that heat deflector and I keep it high. And dude, I'm telling you, the skin on my chicken is like a potato chip.
Like
without being
glass.
burned. Like literally, it's that crispy. And I think it is the heat deflector for sure. But it's also like a lot of people want to let their chickens like just rest and not. I flip quite a bit. Like I'm tending to it. I'm not walking away from the grill for long extended periods of time. And I know my internal temperature need. I want it between 175, 180. But also like I inject it so it's juicy.
Nice.
But my skin has to be crispy. That's the way I got to do my chicken.
Absolutely. You're going to get that Food Network show soon
That
enough.
sounds good to
I
me.
can tell. Marcus Spears, former first-round draft pick and foodie here on the Blitz. Let's talk about those Cowboys on Thursday, man. As impressive as the win was over Minnesota with that damn near perfect game, I think I was more impressed with the Cowboys win over the Giants because they didn't play well. They had a ton of penalties, yet late when they had to have it, they were able to go get it.
It was phenomenal. And those are the type of wins. We have this overall conversation about the playoffs every year with the Cowboys, right? Are they going to win a playoff game? Can they win a playoff game? And some of them are going to be just like that Giants game was. You got to make plays late. And guys, we don't need to kid ourselves. We've watched this NFL for long enough now to know that at some point, you as a quarterback, you as an offense, or you as a defense is going to have to make a game-changing type play in order to win some of these games. You're not just going to go dominate. Obviously, 40-3 against Minnesota, that's an anomaly. That don't happen in the NFL a lot. That was just everything going your way and them being terrible. But what this Giants game, look, for whatever you think about the Giants are well-coached and a tough football team. And I like to give them credit in that regard because some, like the Detroit Lions, don't have a lot of wins, but ask people if they want to play them more than once a year. That's the type of team that I think the Giants are. And for them to have success, not only being able to keep Saquon at bay, but also generating that type of pressure on Daniel Jones, and Dak having 2 interceptions and still being able to come back and play well and do enough to win the game. Those are those hard type of games you're going to have to win if you're going to be in a real pursuit to a championship. So I was really impressed with the resiliency. I was even impressed with the resiliency of Dak against Green Bay. That's why I thought it was crazy as hell that people were saying that was on him. But defensively, offensively, these tough wins, these churn them out wins, critical moments where you got to make plays, that's what championship teams have to do. And that's what the ones that we've seen here in the recent history be able to do. So that might go a long way in them having success going forward.
Swagoo here. Marcus Spears, ESPN football analyst and first-rate chef joining us here on the Blitz. I want to get back down to where you live, down in that defensive line. We saw the running game from Green Bay, which was pretty – they didn't do very good. The last 11 days, you see Dalvin, you see Saquon. Next, you got Jonathan Taylor. What did they do differently against Saquon and Dalvin that they couldn't do against the tandem in Green Bay?
Well, one thing is, man, and I talked about this when we talked, guys, it was the discipline was so bad as far as run fits, gap fits up front as defensive linemen. They had a hard time being in the right place against Green Bay. And we saw it time and time again. I did a clip where Dante Fowler was supposed to wrap underneath. It ended up being an Aaron Jones touchdown because of poor communication and not executing. It wasn't because they not good football players or they can't get to the football. They've been more disciplined. They've been more about let's make sure all 11 are doing the right thing as opposed to I need to try to make a play. Because sometimes that gets in the way of you being a good run defense, is guys going rogue and thinking they go get a tackle for loss, as opposed to just giving up 1 or 2 yards and lining down again. I think they just got back to the basics. It's boring. I wish I had a great answer for you. They did something schematically different. They didn't. They are more disciplined, more gap sound. And I think dudes are just paying attention to their particular job each and every down these past couple of weeks, as opposed to trying to do too much and make big plays, because we've lauded this defense so much about the big plays and getting to the quarterback and the sack fumbles and the turnovers, that sometimes you can lose sight of just playing technique as far as being your best way to play defense. I think they got back to that the past 2 weeks.
Get their attention, man, and have them go do it. And we're seeing the results of it, which is it has been incredible. Nice little run here for the Cowboys. Colts coming up, then the Texans, so they should be able to stack some wins there as you get ready for that Christmas Eve game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know the playoffs don't start for a while, and I know all the different shows if they started here or there, but when you look around the NFC and you see what Jalen Hurts and the Eagles did last night to Green Bay, I look at San Francisco and I'm looking, if I'm the Cowboys, the one team that I want to avoid as long as possible is the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, buddy. Listen, man, they have a brand of football they play, and I'm not telling you or our listeners anything new. They got a brand of football that they play that you got to be ready for 4 quarters of physicality. And most of the time, teams are not up to that task. And they are going to force you to do that. And now with the addition of Christian McCaffrey and obviously that offense being expanded, Jimmy G is playing well. I don't know how long it's going to continue.
There you go.
But he's playing well. But this defense, which doesn't get enough credit, which is being led by DeMeco Ryans, is the best right now in the NFL. So the 49ers have a formula that they stick to. And if you're not willing to be physical for 4 quarters, if you're not willing to run the football, Kellen Moore, and if you're not if you're Dak and you got to make critical plays like we talked about earlier with the Giants, that's how you have to beat these guys. They don't lack talent. They don't lack creativity calling offensive plays, and they don't lack a defense that will come down and just punch you in the mouth. Dallas has to be ready physically, but also they got to be in playmaking mode. And, what good time here when they played 4 games without their starting quarterback, when they faced some adversity already, and now kind of getting calloused and hardened up for this run that they're going to try to make. Because that's one team that's going to force you to win the game. They're not going to make mistakes. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes. They're not going to give you a bunch. You got to go earn wins against the 49ers in the playoffs. And if Dallas can do that, that's going to go a long way into them continuing to play throughout these playoffs.
Marcus Spears here on the Blitz, San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, AM 1250. I know we're up against the time wall, Marcus. Before I let you go real quick, does the incident with Odell Beckham Jr. on the plane affect the Cowboys or any other team trying to sign him?
Guys, what's the name of the owner for the Dallas Cowboys?
So it ain't going to stop Jerry.
You got my answer.
Good enough. Marcus, enjoy the week, man. I know they're loading you up with a bunch of work in December there at ESPN, man. Keep killing it up there in Bristol.
All right, fellas. Y'all take care, man.